Jessica had a bottle of perfume in her backpack, so we had to throw it away because it wasn't allowed on board. We proceeded to the board gate and waited. Now we were sitting and waiting for the boarding call. At last we got on plane and got on plane 4 hours later than scheduled. Our flight lasted 13 hours for over 13 hours, and we were happy not to have an aisle seat. My wife sat by the window and I sat next to her. I took a nap and studied my Chinese book phrase, and Jessica was watching her some comedy series on her tablet. So we arrived in Beijing and went through customs and immigration, and claimed our baggage at the carousel. And at first we suggested to rent a car to go to the city center, but we were so exhausted that we decided to get a taxi because it is very risky and the way a little stressful. Seemed way too stressful to drive in a foreign country. So when we arrived at the hotel, there was some misunderstanding because at the reception, the receptionist couldn't find our names in a database. To make it worse, she spoke little English, not so much English, and it was very complicated. Made it more complicated, but luckily enough, being armed with my Chinese phrase book, I managed to explain her in broken Chinese that we had booked 2 double room on booking.com. So it turned out they misprinted our names. So the problem was solved very quickly, immediately, and I paid for the room by credit card, and all was settled down. And we decided first. We decided to withdraw some cash, and so we headed to the center and find and go to explore. We go to the city center to explore the city. And we so find a currency exchange office and exchanged some of our dollars to yuan, as it it was easier to pay with cash in some um, small cafes, in taxi, and at many places, and like markets, and uh, we went sightseeing, and hired next few days we went sightseeing. We hired a Chinese speaking guide, and he showed us, and we saw Forbidden City, the summer Forbidden City, Summer Palace, and the Great Wall, and some other attractions. And we eat Beijing dark and street food, some local street food, and we went to the museums and we took our self-guide audio tours, and then in a couple of days we from Beijing we took a high-speed train to Shanghai. We visited my wife's relatives, and who turned out to be very nice and hospitable people, and we enjoyed the city tour and an excursion to nearby villages. And on Sunday we were looking around the city on our own, and we tried to avoid popular tourist destinations, just to see more exotic places, exotic spots, and we took a lot of pictures, and my Jessica made some movies for her YouTube channel, and we had to get back home to New York. This vacation lasted for 2 weeks, but it turned out, but it felt like no more than 2 days, and we were happy to to escape from our daily routine, and we were very happy to see all these see all these wonders, and we met very pleasant and wonderful people, and saw lots of attractions, and I strongly recommend you go and see this place, this country with your own eyes.